Hi everyone, Robert Villanueva here. Just want to talk to you today about the power of what I call is the questions between the questions. What are the questions between the questions? Well, when you're using a script, my personal favorite scripts, of course, are Mike Ferry scripts. And the Mike Ferry scripts, just listed, expired, it's for sale by owners. It doesn't matter which script you use. It's the questions between the questions that makes it that much more impactful. Now, what am I talking about? The questions between the questions are going to always be specific to one very key item. What is that? Motivation. Okay. The script is amazing. Absolutely. I don't want you changing the script. However, sometimes finding ourselves in a position where the conversation takes us adrift or takes us away. I don't know if you've ever been there, away from the script. One of the reasons you go away from the script is only for one reason and one reason only. That is simply to understand and seek further their motivation. Let me give you an example. You're going through, you're using the just listed script. You give them all the beginning spiel and you go to, who do you know would like to move here into our neighborhood? I don't know of anybody. Well, that's great. I appreciate you taking the time to think about it. Now tell me, how about yourself? When are you planning on moving? And I'm not really thinking about making that move. Well, now all of a sudden the conversation goes into a little bit of a different direction. Now, I don't want you changing the script. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you changing the script. But sometimes you're going to go into a direction. Let's say that they give you something positive. Let's say, how about yourself? When are you planning on moving? And they say, well, we've thought about it. Okay. We've toyed with the idea. We may consider anything from that direction. Okay. Well, you can do one of two things. One is, of course, stick to the script. That's what we as coaches, that's what Mike tells you to do. And I want you to encourage you to continue to go in that direction. But sometimes they give us a little bit of extra information. And the one time you do veer off, how about going into the direction of why is this move so important for you and your family? And they give you the whatevers. And you go, well, how long have you lived here? Where'd you move from? How'd you happen to pick this area? Now you pick up, even after asking those questions, into the question of, if you were to make a move, you mentioned to me that you would consider, where would you consider moving to? Well, now you have all of this information. You can go even further on the who is moving with you. When is this move going to take place? Where would you like to go? All of these different questions is going to help you further gather information. Now, it doesn't matter what script you're using. You can even use a pre-qual script. You can use a listing presentation script. And again, I want to overemphasize, I'm not asking of you to change the scripts. Just sometimes we have questions between the questions that's going to be helpful. Who, what, when, where, why, how, and sometimes if. Especially when you're dealing with some of these objections. When you're dealing with objections and you get thrown completely away from the script because they take you on this tangent, you can find yourself back to the script by simply going into the direction of the who, the when, the where, the why, and the so on and so forth. Because that's going to help you understand and seek a little bit further. Okay? So today is going to be very simple, and the simplicity of that is the question between the questions. Just remember, it doesn't matter if you find yourself in a position, you're having a conversation and you're just stuck, you don't know where to go. How about start with a who, a when, a where, a why, a how, and if, any type of question like that. Why? Because that's going to further engage in the conversation, and it's also going to allow you to not only further, but understand their motivation at a different level. Because I ask my clients all the time, what is that person's motivation? Well, they want to sell their home and get a bigger home. Okay, I understand that. But why? Why do they want to get that bigger home? Oh, I don't know. I figure their family's growing. Everything after that, now you find yourself being on an assumptive manner. Then you go and sit down at the listing presentation. You don't actually have this information. And now you just find yourself fumbling through the presentation. How about asking some of those questions in advance? Okay, so now you have this information. When you're presenting, now you can go into the direction of Mr. Mrs. Seller. You had mentioned to me the purpose of making this move was because your mom was really looking forward to you guys making this move. And besides the fact that the way it's going to impact you and your family was that your kids were going to start in a new school district. Now, I understand that this is your biggest why we wanted to make this move. You had mentioned to me, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is that to be closer with family and for the purpose of, starting the kids in a new school district, which was going to be a lot better for them. That's going to help you become a way more powerful presenter. Okay, now again, I want to and overemphasize, I'm not asking you to change the script. All I'm saying is that when you find yourself away from the script, who, what, when, where, why will help you get back. And sometimes questions between the questions will help you further understand their motivation. Hopefully that was helpful. Robert Villanueva here. And of course, as always, I'll see you at the top.